What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun Meehan, and joining me as always is Jumpin' Jack Rabbit, Mr. Conor Lawler.
I just love jumping, just love rabbits.
Yeah, well, a rabbit would, actually. Yeah. No, you've nailed the improv today, bud.
The best improv is you just say the words that you said back to you and saying, I really like that. Yes.
See also Shaun on every Weird News episode.
That's perfect. That's really good. Yeah. So this is Hero or Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC characters, Batman, Superman, all them.
Dr. Phosphorus.
Dr. Phosphorus last week. Shaun normally chooses Marvel characters. Captain America, Iron Man, also Doctor Doom, CE Doctor Doom. Or just in general, like some other shit characters that he's covered.
Cher, The Orb, 8-Ball. The list goes on.
Just all-time greats. So we don't really cover the big characters. So if it's your first episode, we normally cover some of the smaller characters maybe you haven't heard of, maybe you want to learn a bit more about. So if you have a favourite character, just search for them. We've probably already done them, and if we haven't, send us a message on the Spotify, on Facebook, on Instagram. Let us know, and then we can add them to the report list, and then we can do them, and it'll be all good.
Yeah, be a great time.
If this is your first episode, you don't have to do anything, just chill out. If it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share. Whatever way you want to support the show, that would be absolutely legendary. We have a Patreon down below if you want to maybe donate something to the show. That's really what keeps the show going.
Help keep it going, lads.
You
also get to vote in our movie reviews and stuff that we do.
We do movie reviews every single month, and as a patron you get to choose what movie we review. You get to vote amongst all the other patrons, and normally you guys choose bad movies because you think it's funny. So last month's movie review was The Mummy from 2017. Don't know what this month's is going to be because it hasn't been voted on, but that will be put up on the Patreon probably in the next few days.
But I can guarantee you it'll be fun to listen to.
Think of a movie that you think of and then go, jeez, I wouldn't want to watch that again. That's the movie.
Yeah. Think of The Tourist with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie.
Did you watch that?
I watched that in cinemas.
Oh no. That's like my Independence Day 2. I went to the cinema to watch that, and you were just like, why? And I was like, I don't know. It was just...
There's no need to watch every movie in the cinema.
So look, Hero or Zero, Shaun, it's your week. I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who you're doing. Please, you have the floor.
So this week, this is one of my bigger reports that I've done, because we're covering my favourite member of the X-Men, and they've been around in comics since the X-Men were created, because we're talking about Hank McCoy, aka Beast.
Oh, if you were an X-Man, you would be Beast.
I'll take Connor, please. Oh my goodness!
In that you'd be Fraser.
I'll take. I'm a polite, well-spoken man. A little hairy.
Not very good at the radio. All figures out.
It's all lining up.
So Hank McCoy, now notoriously actually done very, very well in the first few X-Men movies. Those movies have a few faults, but that makeup, that costume, the performance.
Kelsey Grammer as Beast it's the perfect version of Beast.
And I think a lot of people know Beast from that and probably the 90s cartoon. So I don't really know anything more than what we've kind of seen on screen.
Interesting. So his comic origin, is different to what you imagine Beast is, I will say. So before we start with Beast, we need to go back. So his parents, Norton and Edna McCoy, similar to actually Dr. Phosphorus, his dad worked in a nuclear plant and he was exposed to massive amounts of radiation during an accident.
Great
stuff. Love to see. Chernobyl had not happened yet.
They were really leaning hard on the nuclear powers, or the nuclear power giving people superpowers kind of connection. And then Chernobyl happened. They were like, let's never do that story ever again.
Yeah, we can't. It's off limits, folks.
It's off limits. Okay.
So Norton McCoy was completely unharmed, but the radiation affected his genes, and as a result, his son was born a mutant. So what's interesting with Hank McCoy is that he shows signs of mutation from birth. Usually in Marvel Comics, they're born, they live a normal human life, then around puberty, 13 years old, whatever, the mutant gene starts to develop and show itself, and that's when they get powers. But Hank McCoy was born with unusually large hands and feet, coupled with unusual strength and agility. At this time, he's a regular human-looking man with big hands and feet. Not
a regular man-looking baby. He looks like a baby, or he looks like a man?
Well, the baby has big hands and feet, but also...
and like a pint of Guinness.
What I mean to say is he's not blue at this point.
That's around the houses, but yeah, we got there. He's not blue currently. Let's do Blue Watch, and you tell me when the Blue Watch gets taken up a notch.
I'll give you the nod once Blue comes into things. He was also endowed with a superhuman intellect, which further increased his powers of agility, reflexes, and strength. So not only was he really fast and agile and strong, he also had the smarts to be able to calculate geometry when he's lifting something, or the best angles for movement and shit like that.
Kind of sounds like a prick of a baby, because how are you going to control him?
Oh, it's not great. His parents are having a time of it. But he grows up to be about 18, and he goes to Bard College, where fucking everyone goes to Bard College in Marvel. It's that or Empire State University. And he became a star football player, earning the nickname McGilla Gorilla. Which, McGilla Gorilla big at the time, I will say. Fallen off in recent years.
Surely if you're writing the comic book, you say his nickname is Beast.
Yeah, no, you would.
Yeah, if you were going to write a comic book that is he could take that name later on, then he takes ownership of that name, whereas
See, this is the thing, is that because you're along the right lines, and that plot line exists, because he's called McGilla Gorilla as a football player, but then his bullies call him Beast, call him the Beast.
Why would you do two nicknames?
I have no fucking idea. I feel they had the McGilla Gorilla thing written, and they just wanted to use it.
Somebody came up with that, and they were like, guys, it's right to be said for the McGilla Gorilla again. I mean, I know Beast is there.
We could just bring it back,
I worked really hard on that over the weekend, and I just think it really rolls off the tongue. It's actually a really kind of seamless nickname. You can really fit it into any conversation.
Yeah, it's not copyright infringing at all. No one will care.
Most importantly, nobody else in comic books is called McGilla Gorilla.
So Hank hid his mutation and his thirst for knowledge in plain sight. So he was just I'm just a big guy who's really smart. But eventually he was exposed as a mutant, and the school asked him to leave. His athletic abilities and brilliance attracted the notice of Professor Charles Xavier, who was just starting to form the original lineup of the X-Men.
I thought you were going to say a lineup of an NFL team.
He's got him as quarterback, He's
the X-Men Phoenixes.
So he offered Hank, who excelled in the classroom, the chance for unlimited academic opportunities at the school for gifted youngsters. So here's look, if you come study at my quote-unquote school, you'll get access to all of the resources you need to develop your knowledge. That's how he is drafted in to the X-Men. So he joined the X-Men as the fourth member, taking the code name Beast, reclaiming the name that they used to bully him.
Why didn't he call himself McGilla Gorilla?
Because he had a successful Hanna-Barbera cartoon at the time, Connor.
It's one of those where it's just it's an easy layup, let's go the opposite direction, fuck them.
So he immediately became friends with Bobby Drake, also known as Iceman, and he dated a librarian named Vera Cantor, but he kept his identity as Beast a secret from her. So he's doing the double life thing at this point because he can, because he's not a big blue monster at this point.
But he's still massive.
He's 6'2", maybe 250 pounds, pure muscle, big hands and feet. That's it.
Stop reading my own characteristics, please.
Sorry.
We're talking about Christ. Beast.
I thought this was the Conor Lawler report. Excuse me.
I'm getting drafted next year any day now.
So Hank was a brilliant student, and he completed his doctoral studies and eventually left the X-Men and the school to take position as a researcher with the Brand Corporation. So he fully, like, he treated Xavier's school as college. Like, he got his doctorate, did all the X-Men stuff, but just kept studying. And then once he became a doctor, went out to work in his field.
So he genuinely is the only person to ever graduate from
He's the
Xavier's.
Only successful student that
They've
the
never
Xavier
had
School
another
has
one. They
produced.
all normally either die or just never leave.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
They either die or become teachers, is what they do.
It's normally yeah.
So, while at the Brand Corporation, McCoy isolated the hormonal extract that created mutation. The resulting serum acted as a catalyst for activating latent mutations for a short period of time. His colleague, Dr. Maddox, grew increasingly envious of Hank as he witnessed his new discovery. So basically, he got... the idea is that you could give someone temporary mutant powers. Think of Compound V in The Boys.
Okay.
It's just whatever your body does, you get that for an hour, then you get an antidote on your back.
Which I assume, like, the army were like, yeah, we want that.
Yeah, massive fucking defense capabilities or offense capabilities.
More offense, probably more offense.
More offense, I will say. So eager to inform his superiors of his discovery, Hank overheard Dr. Maddox plotting to steal his research. Unaware of the consequences, Hank drank the serum, trying to disguise his appearance, and underwent radical physical changes, growing grey fur over his entire body. His muscles expanded, his ears became larger and pointed, his claws sprouted, and his canine teeth became larger, resembling fangs. It also further enhanced his agility, endurance, speed, and strength, as well as his senses, and gave him an extraordinary healing factor as well. After stopping the security guard from stealing his work for Dr. Maddox, Hank realised that he had failed to keep track of the time. Because he hadn't taken the antidote within an hour, he remained permanently in his altered state.
Jesus
so he was now
Christ.
a beast in body as well as in name.
Oh, no, he's McGilla Gorilla.
Sorry, he is quite gorilla-like at this point.
He could actually go by that as well if he wanted to at this point.
He's like, I could relive the glory days of fucking college football.
Remember McGilla Gorilla? Oh man, I'm so cool.
In an attempt to continue living a normal life, Hank began wearing a synthetic mask and gloves to disguise his face and appearance, and he also used a special harness to correct his posture. Because at the minute he's like big gorilla, like leaned over.
And he's grey though, is what you're telling me.
Grey hair, but he has a special mask that looks like his regular human face. No one at the Brand Corporation was able to connect that the Beast and Hank were the same person.
How? What? I mean...
Don't worry about it, is the answer.
I mean... that guy looks suspiciously and talks suspiciously like Hank, but it can't be him, because Hank is also 6'2" and also kind of hunched, kind of gorilla-like, really.
Pretty gorilla-like, I would say. After a while, there's a bunch of stuff where he tries to cure himself, and basically Stan Lee decided, he needs to stand out more in panels, so one of the treatments makes him blue. There's Blue Watch for you.
Wow. Blue Watch has kind of come to an end in a much less exciting way than I thought it would.
It's just blue. It's just blue now.
Just Stan Lee decided that he'd be blue.
Yeah. And then, look, it was a good decision, you know?
To be fair, it does stand out, but also, X-Men love the colour blue. They love putting blue on people.
I think it's because it's, like, completely opposite to being, like, regular human.
Yeah, you know? I suppose.
Like it's hard to, like... You could maybe conceive of a situation where a human might be a bit green or something. DC
likes green. Marvel likes blue. Is what I'm discovering.
And that's the only difference between the two
only difference.
companies.
They're the exact same.
So eventually, Dr. McCoy left Brand and applied to the Avengers. During his interview, the Avengers were attacked by Toad, and Hank aided the team in defeating him. He was then accepted on a probationary basis. After several adventures, he was finally accepted as a member, and he publicly revealed his secret identity. A side effect of becoming an Avenger is that Hank soon realised that his popularity with the women had grown immensely. So he becomes a bit of a ladies' man, starts hanging out with Wonder Man, who's like an actor, playboy kind of type. And they have just a few issues where they just go to clubs and pick up women. He has a relationship with Dazzler for a bit. It's wild.
This is Beast, my
Beast. God. Look, the gentle giant himself. The Sean Mean of the Avengers.
He's got that serious dad bod.
He does, doesn't he?
A strong dad bod, it's what he does.
And it's blue, of course.
Blue.
After years of service with the Avengers, Beast then took it upon himself to reorganise the Defenders, who at this point were like a casual, hey, let's all just meet up and help people kind of organisation. He put them into more of a formal combat organisation. He enlisted his former X-Men cohorts, Angel and Iceman, into the Defenders, and Warren Worthington III, who is Angel, funded the team and provided his Colorado penthouse as headquarters. They obtained governmental clearance thanks to the help of Nick Fury, who Beast also had like communications and relations with.
I thought you were going to say that they were dating at the time.
No, well, look, he'd be lucky to, you know.
Look, this man's sexual. He's irresistible to everybody, apparently.
Look, have you looked at him, Connor? Honestly,
no, look, I am going to say it now, having seen the movies and seen some comic panels, I see it. I understand what's going on.
He's a handsome beast, that's all I can say.
Handsome blue beast.
So eventually he does end up back at the X-Men, and part of the reason for this is that he's working on a cure for the mutant-killing legacy virus. So the legacy virus was a virus that Cable's evil clone, who had been raised by Apocalypse, released, and it targeted people with the mutant gene. It was a very not subtle reference to the AIDS epidemic.
Very not subtle.
Very not subtle at all. And so Hank, while working on this, also became a field leader for the X-Men. So after Professor Xavier was shot by Strife, who is the evil clone of Cable, Beast and Dr. Moira McTaggart worked to cure him of the techno-organic virus ravaging his body until Apocalypse stepped in and provided the cure. Hank found the challenge of his career once Strife tricked Mr. Sinister, who is like mutant fucking psychogeneticist, into releasing the legacy virus, and then it started affecting mutants. It eventually started to infect regular humans as well. So again, thinly veiled metaphor.
Incredibly thinly veiled. Oh my god.
Awful times all around.
To be fair, X-Men stories are always about like any of that stuff. Like, it's always very much related to like the LGBTQ community, and then like they just always just delve into any stories that are going there. That's
the thing. It's a team predisposed to exploring issues with like LGBTQ stuff, civil rights, all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So in San Francisco, Hank and Bobby Iceman visited a lady called Infectia, who was dying from the legacy virus. Infectia could basically recode people's genetics, and she got the legacy virus from someone she was recoding. There they met a young mutant named Threnody, and she was able to sense illness. So she could sense the legacy virus's effects, so it'd be really useful to have her around to see if someone had it but hadn't had any symptoms yet. Hank decided to leave her in the care of Mr. Sinister, hoping that because of Mr. Sinister's lack of morals, he might be able to find a cure for the legacy virus faster than Hank could.
Oh.
Because he would actively like test on people and infect people just to try and find a cure. So
he's like, I would be too slow because I would be like trying to find the right way to do it, but I'm going to give the psychopath that's definitely going to like start testing on other mutants, just like chopping them open and shit.
Yeah.
He'll do it faster.
He'll do it like, I don't like it, but he will do it faster. Like, if I could do that, I would have a cure faster. So I'm going to give him this little trump card. Because big picture, he's going to save more people. He's a big picture
kind of guy.
He's a big picture kind of guy.
Oh, interesting.
They've only started exploring that more recently. like it's touched on here. It comes up more when he becomes head of Krakoa and Krakoa security, and it's all big picture, and it's really interesting to see because his logic is sound, but it's like, but it's a bad thing to do.
It's a storyline you see a lot in comic books, like that. The big picture: if we let 100 people die, we can save 1,000. But then on the other side, you always have a lot of those heroes, say Captain America, or somebody who's like, no, we just save one. Doesn't matter. We'll save the other people as well. We don't let anyone die. So then that's why
we don't trade lives.
The whole plot of Civil War, like,
yes,
you have
100%.
Tony Stark is ultimately like probably correct in later on, but the fact that Captain America's like, no, we shouldn't do it that way, he's also correct. It's just like their personalities. Yeah,
exactly. Like both sides have valid points, that's where you get good conflict out of. So Dr. Moira McTaggart, who was the first human to contract the virus, discovered a cure to a certain strain. She died delivering the data to Professor Xavier, leaving her work incomplete. Based on Moira's notes and his work combined, Beast finished the antivirus and managed to stop the disease that was killing all mutants, basically.
Okay, so that's a very heroic thing to do.
Very heroic thing to do. Lovely thing to do. He saved, like, the thing that's been killing so many mutants, he stopped it successfully. Right. Again, the thing that caused so many mutant deaths is over. We don't need to worry anymore.
But the way you're saying this, it is saying to me, look, I know you, and just the tone that you've been using has put me on edge. I'm on edge that he's about to do some fucked up shit.
I wouldn't worry too much. So, have you heard of M-Day, by the way?
Yes, vaguely, but please, go on.
So the Scarlet Witch went mental and killed most of the mutants. Mutant kind was driven to the brink of extinction. Only about 200 mutants retained their powers, and no further mutant activations were possible. Hank tried to find a way to reverse the depowering effects of M-Day to prevent the extinction of the mutant race. To this end, Beast enlisted the help of numerous villains because he had tried asking Reed Richards and Tony Stark to help him understand, and he got nowhere.
Some would say that they are villains as well, but go on.
Depending on a certain point of view. So the villains he contacted were Doctor Doom, Mr. Sinister, the High Evolutionary, Mojo, Arnim Zola, MODOK, and a villain called Pandemic as well, who's all about viruses.
All the Hitlers. All of them.
All the Hitlers. Gave them a detailed history of M-Day and the events that followed, including the work that he had already done in trying to find a cure, and then asked them for their help, offering in return any of the number of discoveries he himself had made in the field of science. He was rejected by all of them, except for his alternate reality duplicate, Dark Beast.
Who is
as smart and good as Beast is, but he's evil.
So this is not going to go well. Go on.
So they travel to Transnia in search of the High Evolutionary. Because, genetics, it makes sense, go search in his laboratory. Scaling Mount Wundagore, Hank and Dark Beast were confronted by the Knights of Wundagore, who defend Mount Wundagore. They were made by the High Evolutionary. Don't worry about it. Hank began working with Dark Beast until, on Mount Wundagore, Dark Beast injected one of the non-mutant children with a serum as a test subject, forcing Beast to part ways with him. So Beast was like, hey, listen, even if you can solve all the mutants, you can't test on kids. That's my rule.
I mean, you were just talking to Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And, all of the Hitlers. So, I mean, it's very hard to have the higher moral ground here.
Well, that was all theoretical. That hadn't been put in place yet. He was just going to ask. The whole thing is that, Beast could test on kids if he wanted to, and he would get more done. It's just the fact that he has a moral code is the only thing that stops that from happening.
Right.
Hank eventually decided to track down the Scarlet Witch. With no memory of her past life, Wanda encouraged him to move on, and Hank finally gave up his quest. Now, after that, the mutants did come back, more mutants started to develop, there was a natural mutant birth in the form of Hope Summers. So, all of that kind of came back into play. Then Professor X died at one point. This is when I think Cyclops killed him at this point. Cyclops went rogue.
Wait, Rogue was there too? Wait,
no, sorry. Oh, no. I mean...
Cyclops went Dark Phoenix, if you wanted to say that.
Anna Paquin killed Professor X.
Thank you.
Before his death, Professor X buried a telepathic prompt in Beast's mind. He showed him a secret room in the mansion that held records of his involvement with the Illuminati and also held the Mind Stone from the Infinity Stones.
The most X-Men story that Professor X planted something in his head so when he died, he would get these memories.
Yep.
That makes sense. That's perfect.
But he intended Beast to inherit his place on the Illuminati and also inherit ownership of the Mind Stone. Because Xavier was like, no, Beast is the one that can do it.
Right, okay.
So the Illuminati caught him up to speed on the incursions. So this is where two universes collide together.
Also, the Illuminati are in Marvel, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah, it's a group of rich, smart fucks who decided that they could make all the decisions for everyone.
I think they're all white as well.
No, well, it's Black Panther's on it sometimes. Namor is not white, I would say.
Sometimes, okay.
Yeah. But they're all privileged.
I do think RDJ kind of leads that a lot, though.
A lot of that going on. Doctor Strange as well. He's in there. Yeah, Reed is in big time. Black Bolt as well.
Yeah.
So the Illuminati filled him in on the incursions where alternate universes would collide, with each universe's planet Earth as the impact. Beast joined the Illuminati in their quest to stop these incursions occurring, averting them peacefully for as long as they could until eventually being forced to destroy worlds in order to protect their own. Sometime after joining the Illuminati, Beast began to mutate once again. So Beast occasionally goes through transformations where a different artist wants to draw him a different way.
You gotta respect that.
So he occasionally goes from gorilla beast to cat-like beast kind of thing. I think animated series is kind of halfway in between both of those.
Yeah.
But realising that this time he wouldn't survive the mutation, Hank, and that Cyclops' revolution that was ongoing would spell the end of mutant kind, Hank decided to make his old friend see reason. And the way that Hank McCoy thought to do this was that he went to the past and he gathered the original 5 X-Men and brought them to the present, hoping that seeing his younger self would make Cyclops rethink his actions.
Oh, right.
So casually did some time travel.
Just, you know the old casual story point that you go back in time and get a bunch of people and then bring them forward? That's a real good one. That's how you know you're locked in.
That's how you know. It's the only way to make someone see reason, in my book. With the help of his past self, Beast was able to survive his mutation, now changing back into an ape-like form from the cat-like form he had been in before. It's such a roundabout way to say I wanted to draw him like an ape.
I want to draw him like that for a few issues.
So faced with an incursion that forced them to destroy another populated Earth, the Illuminati decided to abandon their struggle and chose to die with their world. So Namor went rogue, formed a group called the Cabal, which was mostly villains, and created and went around continuing to destroy worlds. Beast did not go along with this. Beast and the other members of the Illuminati created a life raft to help them and a number of key humans survive the end of the universe. Beast rode along on the transport ship, bringing the chosen few to the raft, but the ship was caught up between... There was a battle between the two Earths, and Beast's ship was destroyed. Beast was killed in the explosion.
Like dead?
Dead, fully dead. Dead forever. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry,
he's never coming back.
Yeah,
never
cool.
coming back again.
Him and Uncle Ben.
Following the events of Secret Wars 2015, Beast was brought back to life.
Don't ask why. Shut the fuck up. That's why.
When the recently returned Professor X, Magneto, and Moira McTaggart decided to create a mutant homeland on Krakoa, Beast joined his old teacher in realising the project, planning to create a nation that would be the home to every mutant. They were even able to resurrect mutants who had died prematurely. Beast served as an intermediary to Krakoa, and Beast helped develop 3 miracle cures that would help buy Krakoa recognition from the nations of humanity. Now, I tried to research this as best I could, but the best thing I can come up with is that Beast cured cancer. I think that's a thing that happened.
So you're telling me that you did your own research on medical stuff?
Yeah.
And you've come to this conclusion?
Well, but what basically, I cured cancer, and I determined if I could do it, Beast could as well.
And the thing is, I found out later on that you actually learnt this through Facebook. I think your uncle...
I did, Facebook Marketplace.
Your second cousin actually was doing some very interesting posts about Beast solving cancer.
And let me tell you, it's Jover, Connor.
It's Jover for you.
Krakoa was eventually recognised as an independent state by the United Nations, and he celebrated the nation's independence by sharing a drink with fellow original X-Men Iceman and Arctic.
Pretty fucked up that the only way in that world that people like the mutants would ever get respect is they have to solve cancer.
They have to solve cancer. That's the only way to do it.
Guys, it's super simple. Just solve cancer and then we'll somewhat allow you to live. Jesus.
So that's... Beast has done some other stuff, but that's like a nice finishing point for his story. In terms of powers and abilities, he has superhuman strength. Occasionally he will get reverted to, like, someone will dumb down his intelligence, and that does make him stronger and faster and more dangerous.
Right.
Because when he's smart, he's holding himself back because he doesn't like fighting and killing.
Makes sense.
He also has superhuman speed, superhuman stamina, superhuman durability and agility, superhuman reflexes, superhuman dexterity. So he can use his feet as effectively as he would use his hands. Regenerative healing factor. This depends on who's writing him. Sometimes he can like recover from a gunshot immediately. Otherwise it takes him a few hours. But the consistent thing is that he cannot regenerate destroyed organs or limbs. So there was one point where there was like a load of little creatures invading his body, and the last one was in his eye, and he just ripped it out, and now he just has one eye in comics.
Holy shit.
Fucking metal.
That's pretty fucking metal. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. He has high immunity to foreign chemicals such as tranquilizers and poisons, temperature resistance, he can survive extreme heat or cold, he's resistant to telepaths, and he has slowed aging, so he ages slower than a normal human would. Also has superhuman senses. Because of his experiments with time, he is aware of changes in history. So if someone goes back in time, Beast remembers the original timeline.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up.
It's pretty good, but it's also fucked up. Yeah, you can just be, oh no, something bad happened.
Yeah. I actually, weirdly, my version of Beast that I actually like is in Brett Ratner's The Last Stand one. Now, Brett Ratner...
Oh, that's pretty good, where he's like the consulate, like he's the...
He's the consulate, he works for the government.
Yeah.
And simultaneously...
He's a senator in that, is he?
Yeah, he's a senator who also works with the X-Men if something happens. And look, Brett Ratner, known dickhead, that movie, atrocious, and a terrible movie. But like... It's just the idea that like he's kind of the senator and then he can kind of work between the two I think is such an interesting use of that character.
Yeah, because he's the perfect example of mutant kind, is that he looks about as different from a normal quote-unquote human that you can get, but he's this scientific mind and he has a heart of gold underneath it all. Like if you can get past the exterior and that he's different, he's like and everyone else.
I think that plot also works really well because then it kind of puts him in a strange position if like the X-Men are doing so, but he's like, I don't agree with that. They're like, oh, you've changed, man. You used to be one of us, but not really. He's just like, he's actually kind of looking out for them because he's like, that's going to have a knock-on effect for something else.
Again,
that's
big picture. Like,
he's thinking big picture. Like, that's going to be a problem later on if you do this mission.
And that's the thing, is that like Beasts, the reason I like Beast so much, I think, is that his best power is not his strength or the fact he has a beast-like body. It's his intelligence. Like, he is just way better in a lab than he will ever be in the field.
And so they don't bring him into the field?
Not generally, no. Like, he will. Like, he'll suit up and he'll go out with
No, him in the trench coat, or him in like the big lab coat.
The lab coat.
Like,
perfect.
It's the perfect Beast look.
X-Men 97 Beast is fantastic.
Yeah, he's always in a lab coat.
So happy. Always in a lab coat, basically all the time.
Always.
And like, so yeah, he has genius intelligence. He's a hand-to-hand combatant. He's multilingual. He is an expert tactician, and he has one of my favourite powers in Marvel. He has an indomitable will. So if he sets his mind on something, he never gives up on it. Like the mutant cure for the legacy virus. Like, he just kept working until he found it. Weaknesses, his main thing is that he is his extra animal senses also make him especially vulnerable to sensory attacks.
Also, sometimes wants to work with some Hitlers.
So, look, he will work with a Hitler on occasion.
Which could be frowned upon.
Should be frowned upon,
Definitely
I would say.
Should be. But also, like, he's nice some of the other time, so it's weird.
That's the thing. He's mostly nice, I will say. He also has the Batman thing at one point where the lady who got the virus, who what was her name? Where's she gone? No, it's not. I can't find it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Infectia, that's her name. He has the Batman moment where he takes her up to the roof of the hospital so she can watch a sunset before she dies.
Then pushes her off.
Pushes her off. Kicks her, actually. In the throat.
He's talking to Dr. Doom on speed dial. He's like, I'm gonna
Victor, yeah. Nah, don't worry about it.
Put me online with the other Hitlers.
But that, Connor, is my full report on my favourite X-Men. Beast.
I think Beast he's one of the best. He's one of the most interesting X-Men for a reason. And McGilla Gorilla he'll always be in our hearts.
He's always been McGilla Gorilla to me.
I just only call him that. Someone's like, have you seen Beast in the new X-Men 97? I'm like, didn't see any Beast.
No, there was a lad. I suppose you could call him Beast.
I mean, vaguely he kind of looks Beast-like, but he's McGilla Gorilla. Did you not see McGilla Gorilla?
No, I didn't see McGilla Gorilla. I'm so sorry.
If you liked what you heard, we have hundreds of other episodes covering lots of DC and Marvel characters. As I said, have a search. If one of your characters isn't there, send it in. We will happily do a report on them if we can. Just give us a like, a follow, on all the socials. You know where all that stuff is. It's all linked down below. And most importantly, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been McGilla Gashon.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.